Hey guys, MacGuffinSC here with another StarCraft 2 Community Cast, and today we have a Platinum, I believe, game between JoQwertyBo and Ebonwumon. Ebonwumon, or Wumon, is starting with Art GT. I don't know what that is. I guess it's short for Alright, Great Time. And JoQwertyBo, what an awesome name that is. Of course, QWERTY is the first 6 keys of the keyboard. Oh, and Happy New Year's, bro. So this must have been played quite recently. And Ebonwumon is either 50% chance it is a reference to the Digimon, 50% chance it's because he's a strong, black, confident woman who don't need no man. Anyway, we have the supply depot going up for the Terran player, and the Zerg player has now scouted the Terran, or he should have. Yes, he has, and he is now sending his overlord to retreat over here somewhere. The Zerg player is now up to 13 drones. Looks like he'll be starting his spawning pool shortly, as he's up to 200 minerals and is not spending his additional larvae. Ebonwumon did not see the overlord scout and is of course heading down to the far positions first. Of course, usually if you send a SCV at about 1 minute into the game, just down here, you usually spot the overlord. Of course, I try and be tricky and avoid that by sending my overlord up this way and then sort of through the gas. I scout the position a bit later, but I think it tricks my opponent sometimes. Looks like the Zerg player is sending all his overlords into the corner, which is a bit of waste. You actually want to spread your overlords out, but maybe he's afraid of losing them. He does have his gas going down now, as well as the Terran player, and his barracks is almost complete. So the Terran player will momentarily discover the Zerg's base, and he's going to notice that it's a speed build, and looks like he might just see that gas. Looks like he might not have seen it finishing, so he might not know it was a gas after spawning pool, although he's seen the drones go into it now. So that's a bit of a tell. The wall-in is now complete for the Terran, and he is getting his auto command. And any moment now we should be seeing the tech for each player. Looks like he's getting an additional marine, and the Zerg player is getting a roach warren. So that maybe explains his late gas. He's going for a roach build, and doesn't look like he's saving up minerals to expand, although he is up to 2. No, he's spending them again, so it looks like he won't be expanding. So some early roach aggression with some Zerglings back up, I'd imagine, although he's not getting metabolic boost, so there will be slowlings. Ebonwumon is getting his factory now. Looks like he could be going for... oh no, it's got a tech lab. I guess he scouted the roach one. He did, so he's probably expecting roaches, so he's going to get those marauders out. But we might have been going for a reactor Hellion build and then decide to change it at the last moment. Always good to react to actually what you find out when you scout. A lot of people scout and they don't actually read the information and use it in a positive way. He is getting a bunker down, and I imagine he'll be filling this up with marauders. Yep. And he'll probably be getting tanks from this factory as soon as he gets the tech lab out. All the Zerg's overlords are still heading to the corner, and I think he'd rather be sending them up in along the gap here to search for drops. Of course, with the close air positions, drops is a very big possibility from the Terran player. That tech lab is almost finished with the factory, and he should be able to start siege tank production shortly. And his second marauder is almost out. Although in this position he might just go for more marauders to deal with the early roach push. Of course, we have quite a lot of Zerg units coming out now. He's got 8 Zerglings morphing, as well as 2 Zerglings. 2 roaches rather. And he also has an additional 7 roaches. He's keeping units on gas, so we'll be seeing more roaches following up. Although he is getting a few drones. And here comes the bush. There is the no speedlings. And this marine will scout those units and he'll be able to prepare. He's getting stim and no tanks yet. And this is Boldy, is going for an expansion through aggression. So obviously he's confident in his build. And I don't know, this is a lot of units. So those marauders do so much damage to the roaches. It's all going to be if he can get past his supply depot and run to the base and avoid this bunker. He is pulling off his SCVs prematurely to make sure he repairs in time, although they are going for this bunker. And they could supply cap him with that. His 3 marauders are doing a lot of damage though, and he is repairing his bunker. And a 4th marauder is on the way, completed, and now Looks like the Zerg is going to lose quite a lot of units. It looks like he's going to lose the entire... Yep, he loses all his roaches and only gets one marauder. This puts Terran in quite a big lead. He does have 23 SCVs and only 17 drones for the Zerg player, so that aggression put the Zerg quite far behind. His expansion will be finished shortly, and the Zerg is trying to expand out of his aggression. However, he does have that low drone count, so it's hard to support, and he's also going for lair, and at this point he's sort of going for too many things. He either wants to go for the expansion and drone up and defend, or go for the lair and go for some crazy all-in. Producing more Zerglings isn't what he wants to do. The Terran player only has about 5 attacking units, so he can't really pressure, and all of these Zerglings, which is 18 Zerglings, could be 9 drones instead. And that would put the Zerg player into the worker advantage. He is still 6 workers behind. Terran going to capture that watchtower, and this one Zergling probably won't be enough to kill this one Marine. Although he has all these other Zerglings coming in, he might see these and think another aggression is coming in, and he might use that to defend. So Zerg might just take it and then leave. Of course, without metabolic boost, he really should wait for that. The Terran player has finished siege mode, and that siege tank is now up, and it's going to be that much harder to deal with the Terran force at the moment. The Zerg player now has his lair, but he hasn't got any lair tech yet. And he is getting 8 additional drones, and this is why I was saying that he probably didn't want to go for both things at once. Can't really... Well, he can afford it, but only because he's not injecting with his second queen. And that's something you've got to watch out for. He is now getting double gas. Now, the problem here is that the Zerg player has 25 drones, and because he hasn't been injecting and he has a larger mineral count, it gives him the illusion that he can afford to go 4 gases at the moment. But he really can't. He needs more drones on minerals. He will be able to get an initial, maybe 3 or 4 mutalisks. Got to hold that thought. That one siege tank does go down. Will the second siege tank go down? It's going to close it down. It's down to 16 HP, but it lives. It's the tank that lives. The Zerg player is still holding the watchtower. But the Terran player is now up to 32 drones to 25 drones, and the Zerg player is getting further and further behind. He is producing more lings. The problem is when he sends his units in like that, he has to replace them so that he can't be counterattacked, and that's just cutting into his drone count more. So he has finished both his gases yet, but he's still not using this one. Oh, there he goes. Spawning some more drones to go into that Kaiser. His Spy will be finished shortly, however it is supply capped. He is also 20 supply down, and the Zerg at this point is getting quite desperate. He is going in on that, targeting that siege tank, which is a good move because he'll be able to clean up the siege tank, which is quite dangerous. However, he doesn't have units to clean up the rest of the armor. And that wasn't actually a very good trade for him, although if he was going to trade units, to take out the siege tank was the best idea. And the Terran player is now starting to build additional production facilities to support his bases. Zerg player is still about 8 drones down, and he's still only at 28 drones, which isn't really enough to support mutas as well as the +1 upgrade. The Terran scans, and that will see the Spire, so JoQwertyBo's surprise attack is now not going to be very surprised at all. He is up to halfway done on his +1 weapons, and he's already got preemptive turrets out, so with the amount of gas he's going to have, we're enough for about... He's already got 2, so we only have 5. We'll have about 7 or 8 mutalisks, and that's really not going to be enough as long as these turrets are repaired. Zerg player is being proactive and checking for that 3rd or 4th. But he still needs to inject on this hatchery here. The Zerg player is now up to 29 drones versus 42 SCVs. And he's going to lose all his lings. This counter, not very good. And he gets that tank, but mainly because the siege tank's own focus fire killed it, and the tank that lived is now dead, but a new siege tank comes in place, and is in the exact same place, already on the blood of those Zerglings. And the old tank has already been forgotten, and his replacement is new and improved, and no one cares about him. The Terran player now has his first medevac out, and he is still approximately 30 supply up, which puts him in quite a good lead. The Zerg player does have 8 mutalisks now, as well as an additional 3 just popped out, so he's up to 11. Although, looks like he's not hotkeying them, which makes it a bit harder to control. And the Terran player is now coming out. Now, since the Terran player is now out of his base, the Zerg player does have a bit of an opportunity to do damage, but we do have 4 turrets going up, 3 completed and 1 construction. And it's all going to come down to whether these turrets are repaired. He does start repairing those turrets. It looks like the turret might just stay up. It could be close, it could be... It looks like he's taking a lot of SCVs though, and no, the turret does go down, so the Mulas do have free reign on the base for the moment. They can't get good enough surface area on this turret, and that one's going to go down as well, and the turret. And these Mulas are going to be able to take out a lot of damage. They are going to the next turret, however the Zerg can just focus on these supply depots, or this command center, but the Terran is now counterattacking. And at this point he's trying to base trade with the Terran, and it's really not something you want to do, especially if you've only got a small flock of Mulas. He could just start up 9 turrets at his base and be completely safe. And these Zerglings are going to rush right into the army. The Terran is now sieging up. That Queen goes down. These Zerglings are going to run right in, and there's no way he's going to have enough larvae to defend this push. He needs to get his Mulas in to take out these siege tanks, and then have the Zerglings focus on these Marines, but it's just not going to be enough. He's not going to have enough units. He's about 50 supply down, and these Mulas are all going to go down to these. He loses all the Mulasks to the Marines, and that's the nail in the coffin for the Zerg. And this is a bit of an example where you don't go for too many things at once. Of course, you can go for layer and expansions at the same time, but when you've already failed of an early attack, you just don't have the drone count to do it. He is trying to use his drones to defend now, and they are going right into the Marines, and they're not going to do any damage at all. The siege tank is positioned by the ramp, and the layer is going to go down, and JoQwertyBo leaves the game. So, well played by Digimon or Blackwoman. I guess we'll have to find out from him. He does actually have a Twitter and stream you can follow, which will be in the description below. Anyway guys, it's been MacGuffinSC, thanks for watching, and see you next time.